Hey everyone, Jen here, and I am here with another homework video for our upcoming Create With Us, which are the free online classes that we host right here on lawnfawn's YouTube channel. Join Kelly Marie and I on January 9th, 2026, live right here on lawnfawn's YouTube channel, or you can catch the replay whenever you would like. If you are finding this homework video by browsing YouTube and all of the amazing things that lawnfawn has on their YouTube channel, make sure you pop on over to the Create With Us page on lawnfawn's website. There is a link in the description of this video. That way you can get the free downloadable handout. I'm going to be going over putting together the kits for class. That way, if you have any questions, kind of seeing a visual will be really helpful, but also having that handout alongside while you're prepping is great as well. I'm going to film this video in real time. I'm not a fan of homework. I don't know if you're a fan of homework, but I figure if we can do the homework together, it'll just be more crafty time together. So I'm not going to edit down the video. We'll be able to work right along one another and get these kits created. All right, so let me flip the camera and show you guys the wicked cute cards we will be creating. So we are going to be creating some fun Valentine cards, and I always love the Valentine release. I typically call it the Valentine friendship release because I think Valentine's Day and that time of year is a great time to send cards to our friends as well. So even if you don't want your cards to be super lovey-dovey, having these on hand to send to friends is a really awesome idea. So let's go ahead and start to create our kits for both of these cards. So what I'm going to do first is stamp and die cut the images that we will be coloring in class. So I'm going to be using a whole, see, the pun got me, a Mole Lot of Love from lawnfawn and a Mole Lot of Love add-on. I typically love those little add-on sets because they're not that expensive, but they add some other really cute images and a variety of sentiments to go with the main set. So we're going to go ahead and start by stamping our images. And this is just Neenah 80-pound cardstock. I cut it down to fit really easily in my mini Misty and in my mini die cut machine. And I use these strips a lot when I am prepping my stamped images. So I'm going to go ahead and start to just take out a bunch of the images that we're using. And we are using all three of these hearts. So I'm going to go ahead and add those. We're going to add the little mole with the glasses, the little mole looking straight on. We're not using him, but we are going to use the little worm. We're going to use this little pile of dirt with the sprout. We're going to do the plain pile of dirt. We're going to do the pile of dirt with the worm. I love this little worm. He's so cute. We are also going to do a pile of dirt with the three little pieces of foliage. We're going to do this little guy peeking out from the dirt. Let's see how many more images we can get on here. This is always my fun challenge, is like, how much paper can I save? I don't know. You guys will have to let me know in the comments if you do that as well. I think we're good there. I think we've got a good amount of images to get started. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm using a mini Misty. I'm just going to go ahead and pick up those stamps. And then I am using lawnfawn jet black ink. I'm going to be coloring with Copic markers during class. If you've downloaded the handout, you'll see that I provide coloring guides. but we'll do all of that during class. I'll walk through the step-by-step for you guys. You can use any alcohol-based markers. You could use colored pencils. If you want to watercolor your moles, you would just want to stamp on watercolor cardstock, not like Nina, what I'm using. But Lawnfawn Jet Black will work with all of the coloring mediums. It is my most favorite black ink pad. I use it pretty much daily, unless I don't make it into my studio that day. And I always like to stamp it a couple times, depending on the weather and the temperature, and I live on Cape Cod, the humidity, it just all depends. So, great. So I'm going to go ahead and set this set of images aside, and then we are going to start to pull out our next set. So we are going to do the little mole that is shoveling dirt. And I think that's it from this main set. And so then I did use the add-on set. Now, something that's really important that I share in all of my Create With Us classes that I do here free on Lawnfawn's YouTube channel, and also the online classes that I offer on my website, you guys can substitute. And I love when you substitute, shop your stash. So for instance, if you don't have this mini set here, you could totally use the little guy peeking out of the dirt, which we didn't end up using. And then I am using the extra little piece of foliage. You could be creative and do something different. So take a peek at the pictures of the cards and the kits and see what you would like to do. When we launch a new Create With Us class, the handout is always available, and it's a full handout. So you get to see the cards we're creating, you get the coloring guides right off the bat, and you get the prep work. So you can kind of look at them and see, ooh, what can I substitute? And it helps you kind of decide what you want to purchase, what you're going to shop from your stash. When you do an online class with me through my website, you don't get a full handout right when you sign up for class, but you do get the class prep handout. And with that handout, you can kind of see which images we're using from which stamp set, and then that will help you determine maybe what sets you can substitute with. So we always love to encourage you guys to use what you have. Of course, we want to inspire you with some of our new products as well. But we always love to see you kind of shop in your stash and bringing something back. And that's what's great about Lawnfawn is so many images coordinate, or all the images coordinate together. So you really can have a lot of fun looking through some older sets and maybe give some love to some sets you haven't played with in a while. All right, so that is it. I don't think we're doing double of anything. So those are our images that we need for class. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I am going to die cut these images. So I'm going to go ahead and just put my stamp sets back in the stamp pocket. And on the back side, I have my dies. And I like to use Best Ever Craft Tape, which is a low tack tape. I use this to hold my dies in place. And I use it over and over and over and over again. So you guys can't see my desk, which honestly is probably a good thing. But what I do is I have used pieces of Best Ever Craft Tape everywhere. On my die cut machines, on some bins I have on my desk. They just kind of live, and I use them over and over again until they just don't have any sticky left. So I'm just taking the die and I'm lining it up with the stamped image and putting a little piece of tape down to hold those in place. And that's just kind of how I do this. So I'm just going around, lining them all up. if you are taking a piece of Best Ever Craft Tape new off the roll, I'll show you kind of what I do when I do that in just a second. Let me just add, oh my gosh, my fingers aren't working this morning. Let me just stick this little guy on, and then I'll get a new piece of tape and show you what I do. All right, so next we'll do this little guy. So if I needed a new piece of tape off of my roll, I would peel it back and take it, and then I always touch it to my skin, not necessarily my clothes. I'm looking for the oils of my skin to just take one more little layer of that sticky off. And that's just a personal preference, but I have never had a problem with this tape ripping my paper. I will tell you, if you're watercoloring or doing a lot of ink blending and your paper might still be damp, there is a chance that, you know, if you use Best Ever Craft Tape to hold something in place, it might tear. But when I have used it for die cutting like this, I have absolutely never, ever, ever had a problem. If I have a little die like this, I just kind of make sure that it's in place, and then I just like cover the whole thing so it's not going to go anywhere. All right. I think creating Valentine cards, I did go pretty heavy with the pinks and reds this time. I typically will throw in teal in my color palette of Valentines. Those of you that know me won't be surprised by that. But I do find after the holiday season, creating Valentine cards and friendship cards with, you know, a Valentine theme, having that new color palette to play with, I don't know, I just find it really fresh and inspiring. I personally don't use a lot of red, and I don't use a lot of red when I'm creating holiday cards. So bringing it in during Valentine's is kind of a special time for me because I kind of make an exception. My Christmas cards and holiday cards typically are non-traditional colors. So instead of red, I typically use pink. It's just kind of something I've done for many, many years now, and it makes me happy. So, but I do love the switch of gears from holiday to Valentine's. I just think it's really fun. All right, so let's see. I think I am almost done taping up these images. And then we're going to run them through the die cut machine. So I have a full-size Spellbinders Platinum machine, but I also absolutely love having a mini die cut machine, especially when I am working with stamped images that are smaller, like in lawnfawn land. I just find it so much faster and easier to just have this little machine that I can put on my desk. I can die cut a whole bunch of things. You don't have to run it through, you know, your machine as much. It's a shorter pass. So I just find it a lot more efficient personally. So highly, highly recommend. If you're watching this before the holidays, maybe you can treat yourself and put one under the tree for yourself. So we got that one. Take those all apart in just a minute. And we'll run this second one. So this is what I mean. You don't have to run it very far. There's only a few images on here. So I'm going to go forward, and then I'm going to go back, and then it's done. And it's just so quick and easy. And my desk is always a mess. Spoiler alert. So if I can fit this on my desk, I always say anybody can fit it on their desk. Because my desk is always needing a lot of help, needing a lot of organization. All right, so we are going to go ahead and set these stamped images aside. Well, actually, you know what? I'll show you what we're going to do. So we'll get them all taken off their backers here. So again, I'm saving all of these pieces of Best Ever Craft Tape. Like I mentioned, I stick them to my die cut machine. I have some plastic bins on the side of my desk that I store stamps and dies I'm working with. So I just stick those little pieces of tape to those, and I reuse them over and over and over again until they just don't want to be used anymore. And that's what I love about the Best Ever Craft Tape, is you just get a lot of use out of it. So that's what I do. All right. I will often, when I am prepping kits, I actually just thought of this to share with you guys. I know obviously you don't have the completed cards in front of you, but you do have the handout with the picture of the completed cards. So I'll show you a little trick that I like to do to make sure that I didn't forget any images. And then I'll show you what we're going to do with these images so that we are ready for class. My bin over here of little pieces of tape is getting full. Takes me a minute to find an empty spot. Okay. So what I like to do, and again, you don't have the completed cards, but you do have the pictures of the cards. And so what I do is I just take my stamped images and lay them over the images. And this way I will be able to tell if I am missing any images. This is kind of my little trick, because I am very much a visual person. So if I can have it all laid out for me. And so because I don't see any colored images, I know that I have everything all prepped, which is great. What we're going to do for class is I'm actually going to take a new piece of Best Ever Craft Tape and a long piece, because I'm going to add my stamped images to this low tack tape. And this way, even though they're already pre-cut for us, it's going to make it a little bit easier to hold on to them as we start coloring our images in class, because we'll have a larger surface area to hold on to versus the teeny tiny area of some of these stamped images. So I'm kind of putting like images together just because I know when I start to teach you guys how to color these images, I typically will stick with, one set of markers at a time, and we'll get everything colored in that color scheme and then move on to other colors. So that's kind of why I'm sticking them in the order that I am, but the order isn't as important as just kind of getting them on some tape. Okay. End of it is curling. There we go. So this is how I have it. And what I'll do is I will just gently kind of fold this, and I end up putting, I have clear bags. So I'm going to go ahead and just slide this into a clear bag until class, and then it's all good to go. And that Best Ever Craft Tape, after we're coloring in class, will not go to waste, because I'll tear it into little pieces and use it to hold on to my die cuts. So see the circle of life there? Yeah. Okay. So next what we're going to do is we are going to use the new postage rectangle stackables. And I'm so excited about these dies. But again, if you want to use a different stitched rectangle, you're more than welcome, right? They're your cards. Nobody is going to compare your cards and my cards when they get it in the mail. So I'm using the largest one and then the second largest one. I do have the measurements on the handout for you guys, so you can peek at that if you would like. I will point out in class, we are going to use the coordinating stencils. What that does is it blocks out the center panel so you can do some really fun ink blending or stamping or what have you, and it'll leave the postage edge nice and white or whatever the original color was. So we'll talk more about that in class, but I just wanted to point that out. So I like to ink blend on Distress White Heavy Stock. Lawnfawn does carry this because they know it's my favorite. It's 130-pound, very heavy white cardstock, and I love it. It's nice and bright white. It's nice to get a nice smooth blend. So this is just a sheet of 8.5 by 11. I'm just cutting it in half so I'll be able to get it through my die cut machine better. And so I'm going to cut myself the smaller postage piece. And I don't always put tape down when I'm doing bigger dies, but I don't want to have it slip and slide on me. This is really close to the edge, so listen, sometimes I don't put tape and then I regret it because it moves and I'm like, I should have put tape. And I'm going to just do this right off to the side where my large die cut machine is. I'm not going to bring that into view, but I am using my Spellbinders Platinum 6 to die cut both of these. Okay. So we got our big, I don't know why I put the magnet away. Silly me. So we've got our big postage piece and our smaller one. I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of these dies. I can even see myself using them outside of Lawnfawn land, which I'm really excited about. And then we have our smaller postage piece. Okay. So what I like to do for class, just to kind of get ready, is again, I put a clear bag, a clear envelope bag for each kit. So again, we're going to put one in one and one in the other, and then all the other elements for that kit will go in there. Okay. While we're at it, I will grab card bases. I know, it's crazy. I'm going to grab card bases, you guys. So I am doing a vertical top fold and a horizontal top fold for card bases. So this is 4¼ by 11, and it'll fold to be 4¼ by 5½. And that's going to go with our largest postage backdrop. Okay. And then this is 5½ by 8½. And this is going to fold to be 5½ by 4¼ And so I typically do top fold cards, but you can do whatever you would like. We just want to have a horizontal card base and a vertical card base. All right. And I put the horizontal card base with my smaller postage stamp. And then the next thing that we are going to prep before class is the new paper clips. Oh my gosh, I'm very excited about these. I think they just add a really nice little touch to your projects. And we are going to die cut these out of some gold sparkle cardstock. So I am grabbing that. Got a big pile of stuff, but I have some of Lawnfawn's gold sparkle cardstock. But what I'm actually going to also use is um, lawnfawn's adhesive sheets. And I'm digging mine out of my desk here. There we go. So we've got the double-sided adhesive sheets from Lawnfawn. And what I love about this is it's going to make our paper clips little stickers. So we don't have to worry about putting glue behind all the dainty parts. And that honestly just makes life easier. If you do not have the double-sided adhesive sheets, that's totally fine. You will still be able to use some wet glue and add your paper clips onto the cards during class. So I'm going to use the heart paper clip, the main heart one, and then the paper clip that has a heart on the top. Those are the two that I'm going to use. And the way that I like to do this is I just try to determine how much of this adhesive sheet I need. And I'm pretty conservative when I use the adhesive sheet. I'm always like, okay, where can I put this? So I'm using the least amount. But so I'm going to figure out what size of this I need. Okay, so for this heart right here, it's going to fit just like that. So I'm going to grab my scissors. And we're going to cut a piece of this. And then this little guy will be able to go straight across here. So we're going to cut just like that. Okay? And then what I do is I take the adhesive sheet and we're going to adhere it to the back of our sparkle cardstock. So we're just going to take one layer of this off, the backing layer. It's probably the trickiest part, but I think it's worth it to not have to use adhesive. And I'm just going to stick this down, okay, on the back of the sparkle cardstock. And then I'm going to use my scissors and just cut around the shape of the adhesive sheet. Okay, same thing with this guy. Peel it off, stick it down, and I'm going to even just follow, there's this weird zigzag. I'm still going to follow that because I also really conserve my sparkle cardstock, which you guys will see in just a second. But so now these are going to be sticker backed sparkle cardstock. So we're going to go ahead and die cut both of these shapes out of that, which is super, super cute. Now, sparkle cardstock, best ever craft tape doesn't always stick the best to it. So what I like to do, because I don't want these to move because I was so precise with the size, what I do is I'll take a piece of tape and I get this into place and I stick the tape down onto my cutting plate. So it's holding the die and it's holding a little bit of the sticker paper, but it's more so holding it right in place like that. I'm even gonna just put another one on this one, right? So that's not gonna go anywhere, okay? And then we'll go ahead and run this through. And now we're going to have these really cute paper clips that already have the adhesive on the back. So they're going to be peel and stick. And I love that, right? So this heart, the simple heart one, is going to go into the kit that has the larger postage backdrop. So I'm going to just stick that right in there. And then the paper clip that has the small heart with the kind of regular paper clip is going to go into the other kit. And if you're If your the die cut is not coming out, you can use your pick up pokey tool and get that. I'm not going to bother peeling all of that out just yet because I don't want the adhesive back to peel off just yet. Okay, so it's fine that it's all together still. We'll work with that in class, but that one's going to go in the kit that has the smaller postage backdrop. So what I was mentioning, there's some supplies in my craft room that I really conserve, okay? We've already learned one is my double-sided adhesive sheets, and the other is sparkle cardstock. Like, I even save these little pieces because if you have like the Hearts and Stars skinny tag die, or you're going to want to die cut little pieces like we're going to cut this heart, it comes in handy, and then you get more out of your sparkle cardstock, right? I am not going to bother to put adhesive on the backs of this. I'll explain some tricks on how to adhere these in class, but you can see I kind of just did that same thing. I stuck it right to my cutting plate, and we are going to cut out 3 of these little guys. So I mentioned, let me see if I have it right here, just in case you're not familiar. But this die here, oh no, this one too. This is the sequins die, which I'll keep pieces in. But the one I was mentioning was Hearts and Stars skinny tags, which is this one. So it has lots of hearts and lots of stars in different sizes and a really cute tag. But you'll see I will keep little pieces of sparkle cardstock in with this die because you don't need a lot. So why throw away those little pieces when they're going to come in handy later, right? It's about the only thing that I'll really keep little pieces of is sparkle cardstock. But again, having a smaller die cut machine, I didn't have to run this through the whole way. I just went right to where the die was and die cut that. Now these 3, we're going to cut 3 of these, but these 3 little hearts are going to go into the kit that has this paper clip and the smaller postage. So I'm going to put them right in there as I die cut them because I don't want to lose them. But I'm just going to kind of go down this strip of cardstock. Bring it through. Right when it hits the die, I just back it up. It's just a lot faster. I can even put it closer on my platform here. But we've got a second heart, sorry, not star, second heart. We'll put that right in that same kit with the smaller postage backdrop. And this time I will go much closer. Stick that die down. Honestly, I probably could have gotten a heart out of there. Why do I keep calling them stars? But I probably could have gotten a heart out of there. I might save that scrap for another day. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. It's okay. All right. So this one, I'm going to just use my pokey tool. And that third little heart will go in that same kit with the smaller postage background. Okay. So that little heart was from the paper clips set. But if you have another little heart, or like I said, you have the Hearts and Star skinny tag, that will work as well. All right, let me look at our kits here. Let me get this die cut machine out of the way. I think that is it. I think that's all we have to prep for. Yeah, it is. So during class, again, it's on the supply list, but during class, I am going to be using the cobblestone stencil. So if you want to purchase that or find an alternative. And then I'm also going to be using the lawnfawn cloudy stencil. I use this so much, like at least once a week, if not more. So we're going to be using those. And then also, I always share with you guys swatches. So these are the lawnfawn inks I'm going to be using. So you can pull similar inks, or maybe you're inspired to add some inks to your stash. I'm going to be using bubblegum, lobster, grape soda, grape jelly, and soot. Soot is a magical color that I love so much. So don't be thinking you don't need it, because it's like not a fun bright color. It's really, really fun. And I always share my Copic swatches with you guys so you can match them up to similar markers or different coloring medium. And as of August 2025, for all my online classes, I also share a Copic Olo comparison. So this is just my opinion of the closest match. Olo is not recreating Copic colors, but from the markers that are available from Olo at this time, I just find the ones that match the most. And I list that out for you guys as well. Again, all of this information is on your free downloadable handout. So make sure you go over to lawnfawn's website, to the Create With Us page, which is linked in the caption of this video, and you can download that handout. We have over 30 free online classes. So if you're just discovering these, maybe you're just discovering Lawn Fawn, or you're just discovering the classes, you can go back and get all of the previous downloadable handouts. You can watch the replays, and you can just have so much fun. And sometimes it's just nice to have a little guidance during your creative time, not feeling like you have to come up with all of the plan or all of the ideas. So thank you guys for prepping your kits with me. Of course, you can reach out to Lawn Fawn with any questions, but if it's specific to the homework or the Create With Us class, feel free to reach out to me directly, creative-chick@shirkus.com. I'm happy to answer any questions, since I do design these cards and put together the handouts for you guys. I hope to see many of you guys in the new year in 2026 on January 9th. I'll be live with Kelly Marie right here on Lawn Fawn's YouTube channel. You can actually head on over to the live tab and tap the bell now to be reminded when we do go live. If you can't join us live, no worries. You can always catch the replay whenever it works into your schedule. Maybe that next rainy day or that next day off from work, however it works into your schedule. Thank you guys so much. We love to see what you create with Lawn Fawn, and we can't wait to see what you do in this class. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.